During the 81st session of the United Nations General Assembly in September 2025, Papua New Guinea's Prime Minister James Marape delivered a speech that underscored his nation's unwavering support for Israel. He commended the adoption of the New York Declaration, which reaffirms the preservation of Israel's sovereignty and security. In his address, Marape emphasized the importance of genuine dialogue in the Middle East peace process, advocating for peace to emerge authentically from the land and its people, rather than being externally imposed. Marape's stance aligns with his previous actions, including Papua New Guinea's decision to open an embassy in Jerusalem in 2023, making it one of the few nations to do so. This move was met with both praise and criticism, reflecting the complex international dynamics surrounding the Israel-Palestine conflict. In contrast, Israeli Prime Minister...
It is truly with deep honor that I bring to this assembly warm greetings from the 10 million people of my country. Just a few days ago, we celebrated 50 years of our independence, and very soon, on the 10th of October, we will mark 50 years since we joined the United Nations. It is this one constitution that binds my country into a symphony of one nation, one people, one country. And I want to say thank you very much to the fathers of my country and to the mothers of my country who have given this wonderful constitution that protects the democracy we have today. I want to also acknowledge the work of our churches, who alongside state has delivered education, health, and community services that has contributed to holding my country together. For this, we are forever grateful. I want to say deep in the heart of this Constitution, it preserves human rights and human dignity. And we coexist amongst ourselves. If you look into PNG today, we got mosques for our Muslim brothers and sisters. We have Hindus who practice their Hindu faith. We have many religions in our country. Our Constitution, whilst pronounced our Christian faith, tolerates diversity of religion, diversity of people's opinion, diversity of individuals' choice in as far as the practice of worship and how they want to live. In a world of so much divergence, Papua New Guinea has one or two lessons to teach the world. Our second lesson we possibly want to speak to the world is a lesson of peace. Papua New Guinea, like many parts of the world, also has known conflicts for a decade. In fact, 14 years after independence in 1975, Bougainville Island in our country suffered extreme violence. But through dialogue under the oversight of United Nations, we've achieved the 2001 Bougainville Peace Agreement. And I want to say Bougainville reminds us that peace can be achieved. In a world today where we struggle to find peace, I want to say peace can be found on the table of peace. I remind all who are in conflict, different conflicting parties, needless to name, peace can be found. Why don't you give peace a go? Sit on the table of peace. This morning I was pleased to hear Israel Prime Minister saying for the first time, or in fact he's been saying when re-emphasis again this morning, that Hamas, if you let go those who you capture, they could stop the war right now and then. That's a construct of peace. And I want to say, why don't we give peace a go? Hamas, for Israel conflict with you, you have the opportunity to give your people a moment of peace. This morning, Israel Prime Minister uttered that if you let go the hostages, including those that have been killed, they could stop the war now, right now. And for Papua New Guinea as a friend of Israel, I want to say we will stand on Israel's word and ask them to come to the peace table if Hamas, you come out and stop the current war that is going on. Give peace a go.
In contrast, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's address at the same UN session was marked by controversy. He condemned the recognition of a Palestinian state by several Western nations, labelling it a mark of shame and accusing these countries of encouraging terrorism. His speech was met with widespread walkouts from delegates, highlighting the deep divisions within the international community over the ongoing conflict.
Please, order in the hall.
Mr. President, the families of our dear hostages languishing in the dungeons of Gaza. Ladies and gentlemen, last year I stood at this podium and I showed this map. It shows the curse of Iran's terror axis. This axis threatened the peace of the entire world. It threatened the stability of our region and the very existence of my country, Israel. Iran was rapidly developing a massive nuclear weapons program and a massive ballistic missile program. These were meant not only to destroy Israel, they were meant also to threaten the United States and blackmail nations everywhere. From Gaza, Yahya Sinwar dispatched waves of Hamas terrorists. They stormed into Israel on October 7th and committed acts of unspeakable savagery. From Lebanon, Hassan Nasrallah had launched thousands of missiles and rockets at our cities, terrorizing our citizens. In Syria, the murderous dictator Assad hosted Iran's forces, tightening a noose of death around our throats. In Yemen, the Houthis launched ballistic missiles at Israel while choking global trade at the mouth of the Red Sea. So what's happened over the past year? We've hammered the Houthis, including yesterday. We crushed the bulk of Hamas's terror machine. We crippled Hezbollah, taking out most of its leaders and much of its weapons arsenal. You remember those beepers, the pagers? We paged Hezbollah. And believe me, they got the message. And thousands of terrorists.
In the same speech at the United Nations General Assembly, US President Donald Trump reaffirmed unwavering support for Israel, emphasizing its right to defend itself against Hamas. He rejected international calls for a ceasefire, aligning with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's stance that the military campaign in Gaza must continue until Hamas is defeated. Trump criticized European nations for endorsing Palestinian statehood and urged them to adopt similar economic sanctions against Russia as the US has implemented to pressure an end to the war in Ukraine. Trump also proposed a 21-point peace plan for Gaza, aiming for a permanent ceasefire, the release of hostages, and Israeli withdrawal. The plan includes international oversight of Gaza's post-war administration, with security managed by Palestinian forces under a multinational stabilization mission. While Arab leaders welcomed the initiative, they remained skeptical of Trump's ability to enforce it against Netanyahu's hardline stance. With this message, we have to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, according to Psalm 122:6, and pray for peace in the Middle East, in line with Isaiah 19:19-25. On that day, there will be an altar to Yahweh in the middle of the land of Egypt, as well as a standing stone for Yahweh at its border. It will be a sign and witness to Yahweh Tzvaot in the land of Egypt, so that when they cry out to Yahweh for help because of the oppressors, he will send them a saviour to defend and rescue them. Yahweh will make himself known to Egypt. On that day, the Egyptians will know Yahweh. They will worship him with sacrifices and offerings. They will make vows to Yahweh and keep them. Yet Yahweh will strike Egypt, both striking and healing, so they will return to Yahweh. He will listen to their prayers and he will heal them. On that day, there will be a highway from Egypt to Asher. Asher will come to Egypt, and Egypt to Asher, and Egypt will worship with Asher. On that day, Israel will be a third partner with Egypt, and Asher, a blessing here on earth. For Yahweh Tzvaot has blessed him. Blessed be Egypt, my people, Asher the work of my hands, and Israel my heritage. Shalom.